Have you ever wondered if your RT engine can go from having this engine cover to these? I'll show you how. Hey, what's up YouTube world? It's Ryan from Riding in Style. And today I'm going to post another video of the engine half covers that I installed. I've been getting a lot of questions about them from maybe some of the new subscribers or just people that come across the video. And they're asking questions about the hose that I use as well as the crankcase breather filter. So I'm going to go over those questions and go over more in depth of how I went about getting the half covers installed. So most of your cars did come with this stock large engine cover, and most people feel that it looks kind of like a toy, like it doesn't really resemble a muscle car. So I did add the decals on there to just go along with my engine theme, but I always wanted to switch over to the engine half covers. The problem is that they don't fit perfectly, but it does give the engine that good look that we all crave. So a huge shout out to Billet Tech for all the anodized engine accents there, as well as some of these carbon fiber topped I guess covers from Spectre. Now a couple of things to consider if you want to put in the engine half cover is I went ahead and installed the oil catch can, and I also had installed this aftermarket Volant cold air intake. Now in my honest opinion, I would say that you don't need to invest in another aftermarket cold air intake. As long as you have a closed box, a cold air intake, you should be good to go. And the stock one that comes on these chargers are already a closed box, so it really doesn't make any sense to invest in another closed box cold air intake, as the snorkel connects to the bottom of the car, pulling in the cold air from underneath. But anyway, this is going to come into play when it comes to talking about my hose here, because a lot of people ask what hose did I go with to install this crankcase breather filter here. So let me just do a soft install of the half covers to show you how they fit. So this is the passenger side, and you can see right there the two pegs, and they're supposed to go in these two holes here. Again, it's not a perfect fit, so it really will just end up resting on those pegs. And the idea is to have, let me just set this down here. The idea is to have the edges here rest against those there. And so the passenger side is pretty easy, again, taking into account the oil catch can. So if you're thinking of installing engine half covers and you either have an oil catch can or you're thinking about installing one as well, you will need the Z bracket, because the half cover will come up to about here, and just a normal installation, it won't fit properly. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. And once put on, it will sit pretty flush right there. It's not a perfect fit. So a lot of people ask me, are these modified half covers? The answer is no. These are the same ones used for the 392. They just shave off the side here. They shave off the 392, and they just put this really thick plastic banner there. You can get the 345 Hemi, or you can get the Mopar logo. And I went ahead and bought these strip decals separately. But now you can see why you'll need to use the Z bracket, because it'll sit perfectly right in front of the half cover. And if you can see right here, like this is where you can tell that it's the 392 cover, because it has these two pegs. There's another one under here that there's nowhere for it to go. Whereas on a 392, that's kind of where it would fit into another set of holes for proper fitment and security. However, the important parts are lined up, where the groove here is the same, and also there's a little indent here for this hose that crosses there. And of course the catch can hoses need to just be routed where they come out and around the passenger side half cover. Now moving on to the driver's side. The issue that you will have when installing the driver's side is this right here. And some people have gone as far as cutting into their half cover somewhere down here, cutting into it to make room for this area here. I personally did not want to do that. That would really destroy the look that I wanted. I wanted a nice clean finish. So all I did was I just found another way to remove this from here, bring it lower. You need to bring it lower so that the cover can sit over it. And it's really just a matter of mounting it a little bit different. I mean, you can use zip ties. I use some tape, and this is just the fuel that runs through here. This part here does not get hot, whereas even if this touches it just a little, it will not be detrimental to this. I've had this for over a year now, and there's no damage. There's no damage to the sensor touching this here, but it will need to be brought lower so that the half cover can fit on top. Before I install the half cover, I get a lot of questions about this breather filter. So this hose on the stock airbox, it would actually connect to the front of it. It would go from here and it would connect to the front of the stock airbox. There's a little plug that would pop out on this side, but this airbox doesn't have it. Or it doesn't have it because it's made to fit perfectly right here. So I needed to think of another way, and this works better. It's the same function. All it does is it filters out the air that goes into the engine there. And this is an 18 millimeter crankcase breather filter. And I just secured it with a zip tie to prevent it from bouncing around. And when I do put the driver's side half cover on, you'll see why I needed to route the hose under here. I also get a lot of questions about the hose here that I used to install, and the honest truth is I don't remember if this hose came with the Volant airbox or if this was the same stock hose that came with the original intake. So I'm not 100% sure which one I used, but either way, it just mounts right there, and this hose was really long, so I ended up just fitting it underneath the half cover and then trimming it and using this tie there to secure it. So again, I get a lot of questions about what hose did I use, what size is the hose. No hardware store is able to give you folks answers, and I apologize for that. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to do a close-up, so maybe you can kind of see, there's no writing on it or anything, what hose I actually used. And then of course, this is an 18 millimeter crankcase air breather filter, and I believe I just bought it on eBay. There's no magic there. And so as I set the driver's side half cover on, I did buy the anodized oil cover, and there's a little tension screw for that. Now you can see why the crankcase breather filter was necessary, because there's no indent here for the hose to come out if it was going to be connected to your airbox. So this is probably a must-have if you're planning on installing the half covers. But after it's all said and done, when you just look at it, this is the engine that I anticipated having, minus this here big engine cover that most people dread. I think it does still look nice, I mean, with all the red accents as well, but it does resemble a toy when it's installed under your muscle car hood. It's not something you want to show off at car shows. It just looks like every other 5.7 engine. So the next question I get asked a lot is, where did you get these from? And I will put a link in the description, but it's really from stevewhiteparts.com. If you type in Steve, STEVEWHITE, parts, PARTS.com, and you just type in half covers. And keep in mind, like I mentioned earlier, these are for the 392. They don't make them for the 5.7, but with the slight modifications that I showed you here, it can fit if this is what you really want to do, if this is your goal. So don't go on the site and try to find 5.7 liter half covers. They don't exist. And then when you order it from them, they give you the option, like I mentioned also earlier, of putting the 345 Hemi there or the Mopar logo, like the blue logo. And then they come with just the silver stripes. I went ahead and got the, I want to say this is the Octane Red, but although the Redline Red would probably have matched a little closer to the anodized engine accents there. But I just wanted to make this video for you all. I have a lot of new subscribers that might not have seen the install video that I originally did. And there's a lot of valid questions. I think a lot of people are starting to lean towards having these installed on your car. And I just want to make you all know that it's possible. You can do it with the slight modifications. Again, the oil catch can is something to consider, and the crankcase air breather filter, and just lowering that sensor back there, and it will fit just like this without having to cut it or modify it in any way. So that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, I got a lot of new subscribers who haven't seen the original video that I did a while ago. So I thought, you know what, I'll just go ahead and do another video for you all and kind of go a little deeper into what needs to be done. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. You know, if you have any questions, put it in the comment section. I do try to respond to all the comments eventually. And then subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for watching. This is Ryan from Riding in Style.